Yeah, for some weather whiplash. After hitting a near record high today, we are expecting mountain snow tomorrow, and that's just the beginning of what could be an eventful week. Hi, I'm Phil Lipoff.
I'm Alexandra with Lewis. Glad to have you with us tonight. Here's a live look from Steamboat Ski Resort. It is looking pretty bare now, but this time tomorrow could be a much different story. Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin tracking your forecast and some decent accumulation, hopefully, in the mountains. Kathy?
Right, and we're so here for it, aren't we? I mean, we just are. And to get mountain snow and rain for Denver on more than one day this week, I think everybody's really excited about that. Not a lot happening up there tonight, but tomorrow a winter weather advisory begins, a little snow event that could tally 10 to 12 inches by Wednesday afternoon. Today's high at 81, 21 degrees above average, and we just missed the record by 1 degree. And this is the most 80-degree days we've ever seen in March, so another record into the books for this crazy winter and spring season. But look at these changes. Chance for a few rain showers late in the day tomorrow, a better chance of rain in Denver on Wednesday, and then maybe at the end of the week, not only a chance for rain, but a rain and snow mix. The first of two cold fronts taking aim at Colorado tonight. It'll move through in the morning. We won't have much moisture here in Denver until later in the day, but the foothills and mountains will see that snow and rain really pick up throughout the afternoon, and then possibly some of that rain will moving right into Denver by tomorrow night. Our temperatures will trend fairly mild overnight tonight with 40s at the bus stop. Weather headlines include, well, we're done with the elevated fire danger for a little bit as the first of two storms moves in. We'll have more on the mountain snow forecast coming up.
New tonight, an investigation is underway after a man was tased, fell, and hit his head following a traffic stop in St. Vrain State Park. This happened around noon yesterday. CPW says a ranger pulled over the driver, suspecting he was under the influence. According to the agency, the driver wouldn't cooperate. He became aggressive and assaulted the ranger. The ranger used a taser on the man, but CPW says that didn't do a whole lot, so the ranger held the man at gunpoint and called for backup. When a Dacono police officer got there, they used a taser on the man as well. Investigators say that caused the man to fall backwards and hit his head. The man was hospitalized in serious condition. Investigators say the ranger sustained some minor injuries. An independent investigative team is looking into the entire situation.
There is a new sheriff tonight in Costilla County down in southern Colorado. The previous one, Democrat Danny Sanchez, resigned after being indicted last week alongside 4 of his deputies. One deputy had already resigned. The others followed suit on Friday. The former sheriff and one of the deputies are accused of mishandling human remains found in 2024. The other 3 are charged with using force against a person suffering a mental health crisis. At a meeting today, county commissioners selected current sheriff's office employee Joe Smith to serve as sheriff until the November election, when voters will select a new one.
A man will spend decades in prison for killing 2 men in Aurora last summer, and he still faces murder charges in 2 other cases. Ricky Roybal Smith pleaded guilty this morning to second-degree murder for the stabbing deaths of 27-year-old Jesse Schaefer and 61-year-old Scott Davenport. Both victims were unhoused. Roybal Smith was on parole at the time of the killings. Now today, a judge sentenced him to 80 years in prison. In court this morning, he apologized to the victims' families as he said he would be held accountable to God one day.
I will stand before him one day and answer for what I've done and give an account for my life, and I will have to tell him what I've done and how I've destroyed your lives and your families.
Roybal Smith is also accused of killing his cellmate inside the downtown Denver jail about a day after the 2 murders in Aurora. He's also charged with the 2022 murder of a woman in Inglewood.
Tomorrow, Denver City Council is set to vote on a proposed contract to replace the city's controversial license plate reading cameras. The city currently uses Flock, and while they've helped officers solve crimes, there are also some concerns about immigration enforcement agencies accessing that system. Mayor Mike Johnston's office announced a plan to replace them earlier this year with cameras run by Axon. Last week, the council was expected to vote on that new contract, but a council member requested some more time to review questions and public input. The Flock contract expires tomorrow. We've previously been told the existing cameras will be turned off when the contract is up.
It's now been a week since a parking garage in southeast Denver collapsed and people still can't get to their cars. Sky 9 flew over the garage at Yosemite Street in Jefferson just this afternoon. While 2 cars were crushed, others are still stuck because of the structure was deemed unsafe. Documents from the city show the owners were given a deadline of May 29th to get a permit to either repair it or demolish the damaged areas. The city has given the company until August 28th to complete that work. The company faces penalties if it doesn't meet the deadline or renegotiate them. The state of Colorado just made it illegal for social media companies to ignore or delay compliance with police warrants. Democratic Governor Jared Polis signed a bill cementing the new requirements today. The new law requires social media platforms to acknowledge search warrants from Colorado law enforcement within 8 hours, and they must comply with that warrant within 72 hours. They're also required to have a point of contact 24/7 for police to reach out to. Right now, investigators say warrants are increasingly being ignored or delayed by social media companies.
I don't know of another instance where somebody could knock on your door, give you a warrant, and you could say, I'll get to it when I get to it. That privilege does not exist for anybody else in our society.
The fate of a similar bill introduced in response to the Evergreen school shooting still up in the air. It goes a step further, requiring social media companies to report online threats. A statement from the governor's office says the bill would violate the Constitution, arguing it would, quote, unrealistically demand social media companies act as a proxy for government surveillance.
Lawmakers in Colorado voted to rename a state holiday today. If it becomes law, it will strip Cesar Chavez's name from the annual March 31st celebration, replacing it with Farm Workers Day. The bill passed with broad bipartisan support just one day before what would have been Cesar Chavez Day, following disturbing allegations of sexual abuse against the late labor leader. A Democratic House Majority Leader Monica Duran and Rep. Lorena Garcia sponsored the bill. They say community members called on them to act.
I hope that survivors and victims see the swift action we took based on the calls we've received, and that they feel heard.
Garcia says the change is about returning honor to the thousands of workers who built that movement, not just one man. Rep. Duran, whose family once marched alongside Chavez, called the name change a step toward healing for survivors. The bill is now headed to Governor Polis's desk. If he signs it, it will take effect immediately. A facility in Lakewood designed to help people experiencing homelessness is back open.
The Navigation Center on West Colfax was closed for nearly a year while it was converted into a 24/7 shelter. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us after getting an exclusive look at the upgrades today.
The Navigation Center originally opened in October 2023 as a day service center. When needed, it could be activated as an extreme weather center. Now it's back as a year-round shelter with case managers, community spaces, and connections to navigating out of homelessness.
One of the great things about this space is that, again, we have space for people to relax, unwind, and to really feel that they matter.
Homelessness doesn't have an overnight solution.
So this space is a library area.
But an overnight shelter might be a solution for people seeking permanent housing.
We in Lakewood and Jefferson County want a place where people can arrive and be served throughout the year.
Chris Connor is Lakewood's manager of housing and thriving communities. He oversees city projects like the renovations on the Lakewood Navigation Center.
We debuted this program on March 10th.
It closed last April for construction. The plan was to reopen before the end of 2025, but that didn't happen.
It's more than just new walls and furniture. It also involves increasing the utility support to this building itself.
He says increasing water tap sizes for multiple showers and providing electricity to the site required additional time.
Took a while to get us done.
What Connor did have by the end of the year was the city's decision on who would operate the center.
They had a unanimous choice in moving forward with Volunteers of America's application.
Lakewood has done a great job developing this program. I've worked with Chris for decades, and I knew it was going to be an amazing program when I saw that he was involved somehow. You know.
Angel Hurtado is the VOA Colorado Chief Programs Officer. She makes sure the center has everything people need to exit homelessness.
We're looking at bringing in medical, we're looking at bringing in some mental health services, some NA, AA, those types of services on site here.
Hurtado says empowering people in their next steps starts with clothes to wear and own.
Shoes, fun stuff, smell good stuff.
to having a bed that's comfortable and safe.
We're really excited about that piece too. Can you tell I'm always excited?
In between, there are case managers guests can meet with and areas to be with community. Since opening March 10th, the center has already taken in its first guests.
To be able to meet this need is paramount for right now.
We also spoke with the mayor, who says conversations about a navigation center in Jeffco began as early as 2018. She says this is the only overnight navigation center of its kind in the county. She also says another one should open soon. City managers are leading those discussions. Janelle Finch, 9 News.